Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have an interesting topic to talk about. Today we're talking about racism. Today we're talking about how we migrate from Africa to Canada, how we, Mr. Yoon, migrate from England to Canada. I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Yu to start discussion.
Yeah, so I originally came from England. Not a lot of people realize that I did. That's because I'm half Chinese. Now, my mom grew up in Singapore and Malaysia. She grew up on a British military base. Because my granddad was an architect, and he survived World War II through the Japanese occupation of different parts of Asia, and he was able to see a whole bunch of horrific stuff that happened to him and to his family. So my mom is Chinese. Is because of staying on the military base, she got sponsorship to go to England. When she went to England, she met my dad there. He is a English. He's white. He is he's the exact same age as my mom. They met there, and then when we were growing up, we experienced a lot of racism towards us, towards my mother in England. So we emigrated from England to Victoria. Now, Victoria has a big Asian population, and they've got the first Chinatown that was made in Canada. And then we moved there, and over time, we slowly started moving all the way to Edmonton.
That's wonderful. That's a really unique story and sad because I feel like we're all human beings no matter the color of your skin. And I think the segregation and the discrimination between people, um, it's sad. It's sad the way we treat each other. So, like for me, my name is Abdul Christian Toure. I came from West Africa, and I have a sponsorship with my siblings and from Winnipeg, and came there and stayed there for 16 years. Through my grandma, she's white, and help us out with the church and bring my siblings and me and everybody here. So I have a great experience here. I'm not gonna deny that, and but just see the diversity of it, the way extra people you never met in your life, comfort you, welcome you in their life, in your community, in your country, for you to have a better life. So for us immigrant, we appreciate that every day. We appreciate the Canadians. We appreciate the country. Um, the other thing that we face is discrimination. It's there's not people who don't understand about the human life, about the importance about how to treat each other with respect and dignity. So, Mr. Yoon's story, Mr. Touré's story, that's me. It's kind of similar, but in a different way. At the end of the day, we are humans, we are people. It doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter the color of your skin, it doesn't matter how you look. In one umbrella, we still have the red blood cells. We still have. If you punch me, I bleed. It's the same with the white man. If you punch him, he bleed. So we the same people. We have to unite. So Mr. Yu, I want to ask you, what you gonna discussion about unity between us, between the white, the black, the yellow, the brown, whatever color people say these days.
Well, I think one of the major things to acknowledge is that we are all people, and that according to, like, if you look at a anthropological look at science, is that according to DNA, there's more variations between races than there are in a race than there is between races. So that means that there's no, according to DNA, no real concept of race. But then there's a social, societal construct of race, and that's where it comes down to, is that is what it is, and we have to acknowledge different ways people are different, without just horse shoehorning them all into one group.
Yes.
Because if we all say that like we're all the same, like precisely we're all the same, then at the same time we're saying that this person doesn't have more struggles or different things like that.
Yeah.
So we gotta acknowledge that people struggle depending on how they identify and how they look, and that we should be accepting. Just like you said, we're all human.
Yeah.
So, and that's the main thing.
That's the thing. We like in school. I remember there's a topic about genetics in school because I studied genetics with the offspring, the Y chromosome. I've seen in Africa, like the blackest guy ever and the blackest woman ever you ever seen in life have a baby and have a white baby with blue eye, gold hair. There was no spot. It's not even you can call it like any name. It's like pure white kid. So it's happened between black and black. You know what I mean? And we have white. So I just think that the pigment of the white people or the black people, if it comes to that, they say everybody from Africa anyway, or from some place.
Exactly.
So the migration make people move one place to another.
Yeah.
Even in the Bible we have Exodus. Exodus talks about it in the Bible. So that's why I said as people, what you race is about. Why you want to discriminate between people? Why you want to call other people names? Just put yourself in people's shoes. If somebody call you name, how you gonna feel? They in the Bible they say, "Do unto others as you like others to do unto you." So it's the same thing which you continue in human life. Let's respect each other. Let's be as one, and the world will be a better place. So, Mr. Yu, what's you gonna take on that? What's your advice you would give to people about racism and how we gonna try to stop this? Because we know the world is not equal. We know we're all not gonna be the same because it is what it is. Some people accept that, some people don't. But how are we gonna see a brighter picture for us as people in the world, for us to have a peaceful life?
So the thing that I think is important when it comes to this is a lot of times people who are like racist or are do discriminate against others oftentimes won't realize that they are or they're doing that. And I think that's why I always think that it comes back to introspective. So how are we doing? Like go back and say, well, you go through an event, then you need to go afterwards and re-examine that event.
Yeah.
What was I thinking in this instant? What else I was thinking? And
Yeah.
eventually you can get to the point that you can do that in the same time that event's going on.
Yeah.
So like let's say if you're talking with a stranger, you can be thinking like, what am I thinking about right now? Like is there any prejudices that's in the back of my mind that I'm not aware of that's gonna lead me to this?
Yeah.
And then so that you can do that. I think that we as being Canadians, we experience like there's a lot less racism, but I think it's still present. But I gotta say that it is a lot better than if we look at some examples of United States. But saying that it's better doesn't really state that if it's good or not, because we always need to strive to be better, right?
Right.
So
absolutely. Is it the thing? It's just like racism is not like you're born racist. I've seen white kids that grow up in a black community. You can't even tell the difference. They have black friends, a lot of black friends. And they even call them friends, they call them brothers. They unite, they do things together. And at the same time, we have other people who fail to acknowledge that we are human beings and they just been like that. Because they're not born racist, they're taught to be racist because the mentality they have. Yeah. So
that's one of the things as well is that it comes down to people, a concept called othering, where people like to put others in groups. Yeah. And then when they do that, it's in order to have like a common goal that they're trying to work off. Saying my group is trying to work at this, but there's another group over there they're trying to work against us or stuff like, or I gotta look out my group. And that's one of the main things about othering, that it's important to realize that happens and we need to work against it so that we don't
Yeah. Okay. And that's the fact. So for today, this is what the knowledge we have about racism, and I hope you learned something from this discussion with Mr. William. And I want to say thank you for listeners out there, and you have a great day. God bless.
See you.